Tori,
Hi, guys.
you made it. You're here. My
I'm
girl.
here. I'm not Michael Dean, and I heard he did a fantastic job. Maybe he can do a pop-in for everybody because we all want to see an encore of MD, I think.
It was so weird. All the colleagues were just like, we want Michael Dean. We don't want Tori back. And we were like, guys, she can hear you. And I have some names for you. I'll send it later. But, the ones that you know, usually. Pretty much everybody. But how are you? How was yesterday? How's the packing going? Catch us up, girl.
Thanks, Al. I'm just kidding. Thank you, Celeste. Celeste missed me. Thank you, Celeste. The packing went well. The house is moved out of. I just did some closing documents today. And then I'm packing to go on vacation for 2 weeks. And I'm just very overwhelmed. And I'm shooting 2 shows
here's what I want
today.
you to do. And I don't want to cut you off, but I do want to cut you off because I want you to think about this moment, okay? You are doing all the packing up of your old house, all the lugging of your luggage, all the packing of your luggage for the moment when you throw it in your room. And as the ship is leaving, you feel the breeze blowing on your face and it's all done, Tori. You're
Totally
done.
agree.
You can't do any work if you wanted to.
I
And
can't.
So just
you're
keep
right.
that moment in your head and don't get locked in on like I have so much stuff to do.
Yes, it's very true. And that's such a good point. And I can't wait. And I can't wait to be with my dad and sister. It's going to be hard. I don't know, colleagues, if you guys have ever traveled after someone's died. Hey, Siri, stop. Sorry, everyone. But it's the first time without
Siri have
Judy.
his hand on your leg?
Stop, Siri. But yeah, it's the first time without Judy. And Al knows Judy. And you guys might have met Judy on the air and stuff. But she was really like, I don't know, there was a rock to her. Like she kind of held us all together. So it's just going to be like a little bit awkward, but we're all going to get through it and learn our new family and a new, Julia says it's a new chapter and it's a new adventure. And I'm very grateful. I'm very, very grateful, but makes me miss mommy.
Honestly, Sarah and I were talking about that. This is so weird to say. We were laying in bed talking about your trip and it's your first one without your mom. And shout out Marcy. Yes, it is Cowboy Al. But yeah, it's your first one without your mom, and that's a tough one, boo. So like acknowledge it. What do they say? Feel your feelings. That's all.
And do it anyway. Feel your fear and do it anyway.
Right. And make sure to like for a little while, make sure that you guys have stuff to do to keep you not distracted, but also like pushing the conversation forward because there's gonna be a lot of mom would have loved this island.
Yeah.
And she would have. But there's also like,
totally.
Hey, dad. Do you like this island? Remember, like, talk to the people that are there with you and acknowledge their feelings and see where they are now. Because you don't live in the same state as your peoples, you got to check in and just see, like, yo, what's up with you now? What do you? Oh, you're watching a new series? Oh, you're not watching TV for 6 months? Like, people got different stuff going on. So make sure and like be curious.
Yeah, and we'll be going to see some opera.
I haven't been to the opera. I'm so uncultured. So how can I not?
I mean, I've seen some opera, and I went to an opera that had 2 different intermissions. That was how long it was.
That would have been a wrap for me, Jack. I'll just say this. I'm not going to give a year. I'm not going to give any names. I'll tell you off the air. But we went to see a friend perform, and there were 3 intermissions total, and we were 3 hours in, and they were like, there was more time to go than we had already passed. And do you know what I'm talking about?
That feeling. Do
you know what I'm talking? Who?
I think so.
Okay, yeah, it's like I don't know. Does anybody really have an attention span for more than 2.5, 3 hours for anything?
I mean, someone says the best part about opera is getting drinks at the intermission. I agree. I would agree. Now there's 2, and I'm like going to get like loaded. And I know that it's going to be amazing in a Viennese opera house. And that's like where Mozart was from. And it was like, ELC says I would have slipped out the back door.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't love opera because the music doesn't move me in a way that other music does. And then we're seeing a boys choir.
Did you lose a bet? I would hate that. I'm
I'm like, oh
sorry.
God, I know.
That sounds terrible. What are you guys planning on your trip? You need to like just take a black woman with you, like that movie with Steve Martin and Queen Latifah, House Guest or whatever. You need to just have some sass on this trip because
Look what
it's gonna be a little too stuffy.
totally. Lisa writes, "Why the boys' choir?" Question mark.
It's so much. Everybody's like, "What the hell, dog? Like, what are you doing?"
I mean, and like, I don't care really about. It's gonna be a lot of like, hi, hi, oh, hey. I
I
don't care.
think,
Yeah, my dad brought it. Is
of
into it.
course, he did.
I,
I'll tell you the moment in the boys' choir that I want you to think about me and the colleagues is once it starts and they sing their opening number and it's probably like 7 minutes and the crowd does their first applause. Just understand it just started right then. Where you're just
oh
like,
my
oh my
god.
gosh,
Oh my
it
god,
is
it's gonna be so boring. Oh yeah.
that. Yeah, it
I
is.
just like anywhere in the world you could have gone. My dad like has worked so hard all his life, and we were like, pick anywhere. And I was like, Bora Bora, Tahiti, Fiji, Australia. Nope.
Yes, you guys should have gone to Australia. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Or New Zealand. What's up with that?
I would have died to go to New Zealand and see all the Hobbit stuff, the Lord of the Rings stuff. My sister is named after Arwen. Catherine Arwen is my sister's name from the Princess of the Evening Star from Lord of the Rings. We are Tolkien family. MD says, or an amazing safari. A safari? I would have been like I would have been so happy, but the boys' choir and opera.
Yeah, and honestly, like you just, it's one of those things where you go, Dad, you pick, and then they do, and you're like, dear God. So, this one's that, but guess what? Now you got veto rights for the next 10 years. So
I mean, I hope so. Go ride a horse. I would love to ride a horse. I love riding horses. Greece is my number one bucket list, boo-boo. Number one. I mean, there's Australia and all that, but all these they're fantastic. But yeah, there is going to be chocolate. Apparently and I've been to Vienna before and I've had my soccer torte. My soccer torte. It's a soccer torte from Hotel Soccer, and they make these chocolate torts. But it's like, then yeah, I have the chocolate, and then I'm like, what are we doing now? Having schnitzel? Are we having more sausage? Is that what we're doing?
I think that Americans make the false assumption that we can go to other countries that have a more laid back way about them, which on paper you're like, this is awesome. I love that you guys say. I went to Italy and we went to dinner and I almost yelled, what the MF and FB is happening in here? Our waitress just sat us and vanished for like an hour straight up. The sun was down when we got our menus. And I know everybody's like, yeah, Americans in a hurry. It's 4 hours. We're not wired to sit and have coffee. I can't. I have so much stuff on my brain. I know it's bad, but like I was the only one in Italy. Like, what are we doing? Why is everybody taking a nap here in Spain? What's happening? I don't know.
Siestas are really good. You're very blurry and you're lagging a little. We just got a message from Michael Dean. Is there any way you can get better Wi-Fi, sir?
Is that me?
Yeah,
my Wi-Fi is blurry.
Yeah, you're very blurry and you're lagging a lot.
I have like 0 bars. I don't know what's okay. My Wi-Fi is going. It does. It looks bad. It says my connection is unstable, which is a terrible way to describe your connection when we're all tenuously hanging on to.
Oh,
that was. I feel
your
like
voice
that was a shot.
and your mouth are not matching your picture.
Okay, Tori, I'm gonna go and come back. Can you hold down the fort? Start the first story. Okay.
Yeah.
Love you guys. I'll be back.
Oh wait, what's the first story? I don't know what the first story is.
The first story is about the Minnesota. Okay, Michael's coming in. All right, I'm leaving.
Bye, Al.
Al looks terrible.
I didn't want him to not know.
He has to know.
I can still hear you.
I had to say something.
Okay.
Michael Dean. Oh, is that Lady Gaga? No, that's Beyonce.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh,
To show
that
off
looks
my
fabulous.
tour shirt that I waited 3-4 hours in the hot air Nevada sun for.
You know what that's going to be like? Opera.
Yeah. There were a lot of people singing in line.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So yeah, do you want to talk about the first story?
Let's do it.
Don't know what it is. Oh wait, hold on. I get to do these things. Oh, here we go. Ready? Cool. Yeah, let me find what is the first story. Here we go.
Yeah, go ahead.
I hope you read this email, but I wanted to take some time to talk about this Catholic school shooting. The person who did this, turns out they were trans. The 23-year-old changed their sex at, I believe, 19. Oh no, at 17, she filed court documents to change her first name to Robin from Robert. I don't really want to name her because I don't want to. I'm not bringing this up to give any credence to the horrible deeds that she did, but I did think this was really interesting because people have seized on this, particularly on the right, and there's this headline that I saw in the New York Post that just kind of blew my mind. It reads, Minneapolis school shooter Robin Westman confessed he was, quote, tired of being trans, and then a semicolon, I wish I never brainwashed myself. Now, reading that, first of all, they misgender her, and the impression, what impression does that give you, Tori?
That she did this because she's mad about her trans situation.
Right. And it's because of the trans identity that this whole narrative that there was a wrong decision, they were brainwashed, therefore she regretted the decision. But the actual quote from this girl's I guess wherever they got all this, the writings, the postings, her social media stuff, says, quote, I regret being trans. I wish I was a girl. I just know I can't achieve that body with the technology we have today. I also can't afford that. Right?
Yeah. Very
totally different story.
Very different story.
Totally different story. And so my whole thing is like the narrative, just like destroying and misaligning this community because of the terrible things that Robin did.
And let me ask you this, Michael Dean. It's interesting. If we're to take one shooter and use their background as a, I don't know, microcosm for what's all shooters, then we got to look at some cis white men.
Yeah, 100%. The numbers are terribly skewed.
Yeah, because that is the majority of a school shooter. So if we're taking the identity of the shooter and using that, then we got to go back a ways and say something's going on with white men, because that has been, again, the majority of school shooters. And I do want to say that I found out that there was, I believe, Michael Dean, 160 rounds shot into the church. And I was listening to one 10-year-old, I believe he was 10, and he had a very flat affect, which I've said before is when you have trauma, you kind of just go blank, right? A lot of Holocaust victims talk about it. We went to the chambers, we were on the train, then they killed my sister, and there's no affect, right? And he just said, I heard some, I didn't know what it was. Then I ducked into the pew, and this other friend of mine jumped on top of me and saved me. Oh yeah, but he got hit. And it was like a Vietnam veteran's sort of flat face and no affect. So very, very, very scary. And when everyone says, of course, thoughts and prayers, I thought the Minneapolis mayor, is that who he is, said we were literally praying.
We played it last week, but I think it's worth playing again. Hold on, let me bring it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go.
These were Minneapolis families. These were American families. And the amount of pain that they are suffering right now is extraordinary. And don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school. They were in a church. These are kids that should be learning with their friends. They should be playing on the playground. They should be able to go to school or church in peace without the fear or risk of violence, and their parents should have the same kind of assurance. These are the sort of basic assurances that every family should have, every step of the day, regardless of where they are in our country.
He's a great mayor, but Minneapolis, Ferguson, there's a lot going on in that space that's really hyped up. And so he has a lot on his plate, but I heard Tim Walz speak. But yeah, second day.
You know what they call him? The right calls him?
What do they call him?
Tampon Tim.
Oh, that's right. Because right. Yeah. Oh, God, those are like fifth grade schoolyard bully tactics. But yeah, this is the fifth school shooting. Thank you, Celeste. I was going that since school started this month. And, for parents, I got to pack their lunches. I got to get their vaccinations. I have to worry about my kid getting shot and never coming home again. Like those are now thoughts that have to happen. So,
and then imagine all those college students who had their entire campus shut down.
That's right.
Half a dozen campuses having these hoaxes. But like you said, it traumatizes them all the same. And, like we talk about the 2 dead, the 8 and the 10-year-old here, and the 17 other people injured. But let's be real. All of the kids, all of the adults, all of the teachers that were there, that are connected to this school, they're all going to be victims of this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, forever. Yeah. It's not something that leaves you ever. To be honest, that little kid, he said he heard something and then he realized the sound of that will be the loudest sound of his life and it will never leave him. And that's the sound of our children in America, the gunshots. I always say that in America, it's become amplifying school shooting. Hey, Cowboy.
Hello.
Oh, there he is.
Is that better?
That is much better.
Okay.
Al, I'm going to take off, but we're just winding down the school shooting aftermath conversation. And I believe next up is Disney.
All right. Let's talk about Disney. Let me just say this about the school shootings. Tori, yes, Christina, Cowboy's back, my lady. I'll just say this about the school shootings. It's interesting how we pick and choose when we read people's manifestos and when we don't, when it serves people's purpose. Like a lot of people, we don't really know why. Like the kid that went to Florida State that was the son of a cop who was a Trump supporter. We didn't hear anything about that. We have heard very little about Dylan Roof. We've heard very little about the kid that supposedly shot Trump. But, now that this kid may have had some regrets about transitioning, this is all we hear about. So I don't know.
And we clarify that out in that she was saying she was mad that the technology wasn't there for her transition. So they kind of skewed the way she was talking about being trans. A lot of the manifesto they're not talking about is that she was angry about the Catholic school and church's view on trans people. None of this condones what's happened. But yeah, I think we tend to look at the identity of the shooter in different ways when it suits us.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, let's get to something else that everybody's talking about, Tori. I think we can count Disney as famous, right? We can do that. Yeah, let's do it. I'm looking for it. It's almost here. It's coming. Maybe it's not. Here it is. Oh, we should have used the travel one for this one, Tori. We're talking Disney. Let's do it if we're talking Disney. Come on. We're talking Disney. Now, we know our own Sammy Shocker is a Disney adult, which is embarrassing. I
think it's great.
I know a lot of people do. I just hate everything. When was the last time you've been to Disney World, girl?
I've been to Disneyland. I went all the time in LA. So in
just that picture right there, Tori, is my worst nightmare.
Oh, I'm so happy. It looks like a beautiful night. It looks like a beautiful, beautiful night.
Yeah, that just is
I
too
love Disney.
much. Like, I
Disneyland
don't
is
need
just
that in my face. Like, get your
no, it's
huge head out of my face.
no, it's the happiest place on earth, and I have to agree. I love Disney. I love it so much. And I was in LA when you could get annual passes, and we'd go and have dinner, watch the fireworks, go on a few rides, come back I mean, it was just wonderful.
Well, did you call your accountant before you did that?
Yeah, now it's
Because
really expensive.
yes, it's very expensive. And Celeste says she's a Disney adult, so she definitely has a good reason to be mad at me. But I do want to hear from Celeste. When's the last time that she went? And if she doesn't mind, would she be comfortable sharing how much she spent? So Michael Dean, can you pop that up if and when she lets us know? But Tori, I noticed this happening I've taken my kids to Disney a couple times and it was still affordable. They're much older now. That was probably 6-7 years ago. Everybody I talked to at Disney is like, got to get the fast pass, got to get into the 33 club. And it's just like, it seems like it's gone away from the quintessential middle class vacation.
Oh yeah, it's out. It's absolutely prohibitive now. Imagine a family of 4 going to Disneyland. Do you know how expensive that is? Just the rides. Then you have to do the hotel. Then you have to do like the fast passes. Then you have to do the food. It is so disgusting. So Sarah says 2006, 2 nights, $1,000. That's not, I mean,
I guess it's not bad if you're including hotel for a night. I mean, it's steep. It's at the point now where it's prohibitively expensive. And here's the issue with that. Disney, as we're seeing people like Celeste, they're like, I'm a Disney adult. Well, how does that happen, Tori? It doesn't happen in the womb. It happens when you're exposed to it, when you go as a little kid and you fall in love with the magic of it. But that's not going to happen if your parents can't afford to send you if it's between Disney World and college.
Right. That's true.
I just think that we're seeing it with Vegas now. Everybody's saying Vegas is empty. Vegas used to be a place where you could go and like literally the drinks would be free.
Yeah.
They wanted you to gamble. And now Vegas is expensive. There's no place for a person that earns a decent living to go without being on vacation, but also like using their budgeting app, which is not part of vacation. You should just go and be like, oh, we're going to have fun for 3 days.
And I just wish they understood like that, like even our little headline, there's a magic to Disney that's so beautiful. And now it's only reserved for the rich. Like that sucks that like Disney isn't there. 2018 says Simi, $6,000 for 2 adults and 2 kids. Good God.
You could get a used 2004 Civic for that.
1,000. I saw a car on the road that was $6,000 today. And I was like, oh, like that's ridiculous. I mean, I would go too, but I'm just saying it's just, it's taken a lot of the magic away. And now it's like rich kids.
Right. And it's not only it's rich kids, Tori, but rich kids you can see, because I'm looking at Julia's comment saying her pet peeve is waiting in line. If you don't pay for the fast pass, you get to see rich kids whiz on by you.
Yeah.
And say, we've gotten on 6 rides in the last hour. And you're just like, this is our first ride and it's 2 p.m.
Yeah. And then you want to get a turkey leg. There's nothing wrong with a turkey leg or a churro the size of your head or a pickle the size of your arm. And they're like, that'll be $12,000.
It just takes me out of it.
Yeah.
And it's weird, but that's why I really like going to Rockies games. Because when we go, I could just go up there and be like, hey, I'll get hot dogs for everybody. I'll get drink, and it's fine.
Yeah, I think there's some stadiums, and one of the colleagues will tell us that they actually lowered the price of their food because the head of the stadium said, I want a family to be able to come here and enjoy 4 people to have dinner, and it shouldn't be $92 or $100. So they lowered it. I don't remember where that is, but I'm really proud of that stadium owner because these experiences are few and far between. We don't have a lot of third spaces, like they said. Like you said, it's like you got to let families go somewhere. You know what I mean?
Apparently you don't. You don't.
Yeah.
And it really stinks. But let's, unless you have any more thoughts on this, I just want to know, like, I always thought too, Disney was like a place that like your parents could take your kids. If you guys needed 2 or 3 days, grandparents got a little dough saved up and they're like, oh, we'll take the kids for 4 days.
Right.
And now I don't know how many grandparents can plop down $8,000, especially when their social security is in peril.
Totally agree. And yeah, Marcy, thank you for that. It was Philadelphia. I think that's a really smart. And Julia, I want to take a Disney cruise because I hear the food is really good, and I want to be all inclusive. But I bet it's very pricey too.
Knowing me as long as you have, Tori, do you think there's anything that I would want to do less than a Disney cruise?
No,
Because it combines the two things. It's just like, oh, I can't. I'm surrounded by water, and there's a guy named Goofy in front of me going, oh, I'll be like, bro, look at this face. Go find my kids. Get out of here, bro. I don't want it. I don't want it, Tori. Let's get to this, though.
Oh, my God.
All right, Tori. I love this segment, sponsored by our very first sponsor, Spider Moving, who is doing some moving for you as of yesterday. Yes. Shout out
I met
Vlad
and I met another Vlad, and apparently there's a third Vlad.
Is there really?
3 Vlads.
You got to go to a baseball game with us. We had so much fun.
I can't wait. I mean, they were really helpful, and it started pouring rain. It was terrible, and they were really, really great. So I highly recommend it. And you can call their number. We're going to put it up on the screen. Screen 303-544-4000. The Vlads are wonderful.
They really are.
Oh, and where am I moving to? Right now, I'm in an apartment, but I sold my house, and I'm thinking of if my job stays at Colorado and Company, because you guys know Nexstar is taking over Tegna. I'm going to put a little money down on like a little townhouse so I can have my garden back.
Yeah. I could see you in a townhouse, like our girl Corinne.
Yeah.
Who's going to be guest hosting when you're gone. She's going to guest host it for an episode.
Awesome.
And she's a single woman townhouse, really cool place around like an area that I know you like, where we went to trivia the other day.
That's where my house was. So it's a great area.
Yeah.
Michael Dean also has a townhouse. So I'm going to do that and get a little garden, maybe a chicken.
No.
Okay.
You don't want anything that's going to tie you somewhere.
Okay. But a dog, I'm going to get a dog. Since
Yeah.
Josie Rose has passed, I'm looking at maybe first doing some, fostering and then maybe being a foster fail. But today on Coco, we had puppies on, and one fell asleep in my lap as I was holding her.
Did you bore it to death? So terrible.
That's so funny. I hope that I did it, but she was so good. There is, by the way, a community garden that I found near my apartment, but it's about to turn cold. Maybe I'll do some asters and mums. But that is a great idea too. I appreciate it. Thank you, Christina. Weren't they the cutest puppies in the world? And Al, they didn't name the puppies because they say if you name the puppies, it's yours. You're taking them home. So it was like puppy 782 and like puppy 413. And I was like, oh God. Like, so I just named the one I was holding. I named her Squish. Oh,
so you went against their strict rule that they had.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, well, when you come back, because special announcement to the colleagues, my mom is gonna guest host an episode. Yes, Jackie is gonna guest host. Yeah, we got a couple really cool surprise guests, but my mom is coming on. And when you come back, Tor, I would love for you guys to do an episode, because I think I told most of the colleagues the last time I went to visit my mom in Montez, where I got this hat in South Carolina. My mom's dog died suddenly.
I did know this.
The day that we were leaving.
Oh God.
Yes. And honestly, it was I think it was Martin Luther King Day, but the vet went and opened for us that day.
Oh, wow.
And they just did such an outstanding job. And my mom was she was so tough about it. And I think she's ready to start talking about getting a dog. So I'd love for you to like talk to her and like talk to her about different breeds and, get her excited. Yeah,
absolutely. And the puppies I was holding, I don't know if some of you saw, they're going to be Pyrenees pit mixes. So they're going to be 100-pound dogs.
My mom had a great Pyrenees.
Oh, they're gorgeous. They're very sweet, but they're big.
Yes. Huge, very fluffy white dogs.
Pyrenees. What was the name of your Pyrenees?
Pearson.
Oh.
Pier ZYN.
Pearson. I'm Pearson in.
It sounds like the name of a company. that like
Yeah.
is doing some shady, that's like
Yeah,
really a front for a
Pearson windows.
CIA operative. Yeah. Find out they're moving stuff in between here in Central America. All right, Tori, we got to get to this story because it's a little scary. The CDC ain't what it used to be, girl, or the FDA and the CDC.
By the way, CDC members, as we're speaking, are walking out in protest. Right now, I saw them, and there's a line of people clapping for them who are protesters, and they're leaving their jobs. They're wearing suits, and they're just walking out. So there's a mass CDC protest against RFK Jr.'s policy. So I wanted to let us all know.
Yes, we're clapping for the people that are the line of defense between us and the bird flu.
That's
Good
right.
to know they're not in their offices now. Like,
Nope.
why is this not a bigger deal, girl? Talk to us.
I think it is a big deal. I mean, I think we're seeing an FDA head or Health and Human Services that is anti-science. I mean, I'm just going to say it. He's
Absolutely.
an anti-science person put in charge of science. So it's very confusing. So I'm just trying to stand up for science. Like, I can't believe we're here. But it's like when people weren't teaching evolution in schools and you're like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? So it's just,
Right.
There's going to be a bird flu. There's going to be a lot of polio outbreaks, measles outbreaks, and all this because some guy we put in charge doesn't really believe in it. How is that okay? So here's to science, and I can't believe I have to say that, but yeah, I believe in science.
And
I
I'm
believed
glad
in Fauci. I believed in the NIH. I believed in them during COVID, and I just don't understand.
it's so weird. And Julia just put up that they're making the employees that stay sign a loyalty oath.
Yeah, that's
So
called dictatorship. I mean, that's Putin right there.
yes, I mean it's terrible. And Michael Dean, what are the parameters in which you can get a COVID shot?
Oh yeah. So real quick, I just want to make sure I get this right. So it used to be prior to the CDC recommended COVID shots for everyone 6 months and older, which meant that insurance covered it for all of those people. Now the new thing is it's only approved for adults 65 and older, and then everybody else, if you're healthy, you don't get it. At least insurance won't cover it. You can get it. Kids and adults can get it with at least one medical condition that puts them at risk of severe illness.
God.
But that just means that everyday Americans and everyday kids who don't have like COPD or some sort of lung issue or immune problem, they have to pay between $140 to $200 a shot.
It's just so the rich get to be healthy, but the poor don't. That is so messed up. Talk about a two-tiered system. That is disgusting. That is so disgusting. Oh, that's disgusting. Sorry.
You know what I will say about this administration is they leave no stone unturned.
Yeah.
Every bad thing.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, what if our police wear masks and tackle people that are leaving graduations? Cool. How about if our science, we haven't even gotten to our EPA story today. That's a humdinger. Tori.
And by the way, I agree with Michael Dean. That's what I was thinking. If we don't let everybody get the COVID vaccine, we all become vectors for more and more problems. Like the whole idea is to get a limit of a certain amount so that the whole, what is it called? It's the whole, like a community safety with vaccinations.
Herd immunity.
Yeah, herd immunity. If we don't get to that herd immunity, we're absolutely going to cut ourselves off by the knees again.
Right. I think it's at the knees, not by the knees. But
it's at the knees. It's not by the knees. It's at the knees.
You're not. Okay. You're not rounding up or down. It's right at the knee. But no, I mean, Tori, you and I always try and find a way to laugh our way through this. But during the pandemic, you and I were in studio. We remember what the world was like when no one was outside, when people were getting sick. I remember going to DBL. Because I live so close to the studio a couple times. I went 2 times over our break when the studio was dark. And remember, who was he was the baby face kid that used to work there, really sweet guy, Michael.
Oh yeah, Fedora Mike?
No. He had a baby face. He looked like Bob's Big Boy if he was like a toddler. We loved him.
Oh, that guy. Connor?
You know, no, Connor was big. Like he was
No,
little.
not Connor. What was his name?
Anyway, I think his name was Michael. I'm pretty sure. You don't remember him? When he left, everybody was sad. He was really like weirdly like
Did
Mormon.
he hold the camera in the breaks?
No, I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, I went to the studio and he was there and he was like, I wasn't expecting to see anybody because everybody was gone on vacation. He was like,
Fedorable. Yeah, Fedorable Mike. He wore the fedora.
No, I know Fedorable Mike. It was not him. And he was doubled over at his table. And this is like mid-December. And I was like, I don't know why he's in the studio. I was like, what's going on? His name was Mike. I was like, what's up, Mike? And he was like, man, I feel terrible. I don't know what's going on with me. And I realized later, like he had COVID, but it wasn't named yet.
Oh,
he had it in like December.
Wow.
And, you know, there were a couple people in our office that had it before. And I think after Mardi Gras is when it blew up. That's when everybody went to Mardi Gras, kicked it, kissed, got drunk, close proximity, and then flew all over the country. That's when everybody got really sick. But I just remember what the world was like. And now I feel like not only are we close to getting back to that, but we're not going to have a reliable source of like, what do we do?
Right. And that's why when I say this about dictatorship, I always say there's a playbook. And one of the big ones, Al, is don't trust the people in charge. Don't trust the doctors. Don't trust the vaccines. Don't trust the librarians. Don't touch the teachers. Don't trust the EPA. Don't trust. And it's all, who do you trust then? You just trust me. I'm the only people you can trust. And that's the Trump way, is like spread falsehoods about all this other stuff. Trust me. I'm your savior. That becomes the authoritarian position.
Well, I'm scared we're looking right at that, girl, but you know, let's not even bring that on. Let's just let's at least wait till it gets there. All right, Tori, let's talk about this because we got to. Okay, Alligator Alcatraz is closing. Oh my God. Yay. Look at that. You're going to tell me that that's not a concentration camp? Where are the bathrooms? Where are the ventilation?
Where's the water?
Ventilation? Where's the running water? Do you know what that is? You and I'm sure there's some colleagues that live not only in the Midwest and Deep South, but like when you get out away from the cities, there are places that sell like very large hangars like that where you can keep 8 tractors. That's for keeping equipment. Those aren't set up for human life. And
so like, why did we get rid of this? Didn't we waste a lot of money building this too?
Did we waste it, Tori? Or this is the bigger point that I think with all these things. And I'll make my point after. Michael Dean, why don't you chime in and tell us what's going on with the new one coming in Texas, and I'll make my point.
Well, so real quick to answer your question, Tori, a judge ruled Alligator Alcatraz had to shut down because the environmental impact. It was built without doing any of the necessary things. It's literally in the middle of the Everglades.
Yeah, the water. It's the water.
They're like, this is not going to have any environmental impact. And it's like, anybody that looks at this is not going to believe that at all.
Right.
It's going to have a huge environmental impact in this protected space. And so the judge was like, because you didn't go through any of the normal stuff that would be required, you have to shut it down immediately, which you're absolutely right. How much money was spent on this? Right. Anyways, so that's that. And then to Al's point, hold on just a second. The largest immigration detention center they're planning on building is in Texas. It's going to be for 5,000, hold 5,000. And do you want to guess who this administration awarded it to? First of all, the contract is for $1.2 billion. Not.
Let me guess. Is a contract with Blackstone?
No. It is a tiny Virginia company that is so small it is registered to a 3-bedroom house, has no website, and has no information about its financials. And when I believe people from ABC News went to go contact the person who's registered that owns that house, they didn't answer the door. And there's no idea because it was secretive and nobody knows why this tiny little Virginia company that you can't find anything about is getting $1.2 billion.
So this to me is a shell company. That's what screams to me.
Absolutely it is.
Yeah, that's a shell
Absolutely is.
company.
That's what I told Michael Dean before we came on. I
Yeah,
was
that's
like,
a
this
shell
is a
company.
shell company.
Yeah, that's something's wrong there. I mean, this is a way to get through taxes, to launder money, to figure out what you're doing. But that's insane. 1.2 billion to a random house that no one answers. That's unheard of. I mean, and you'd think a court would say we need more financial understanding of what this is, but he owns the courts. You know what I mean?
Right. And it, like I said, a lot of Trump doesn't care. So a lot of the stuff he does is cruelty, but it's cruelty so that he can make money. I don't think he cares one way or the other. And when you think about how just a few shifts in words totally change how this started. He was like, I'm running on immigration. There are too many illegal immigrants here committing crime and they need to leave. 77 million Americans heard that message and they were like, we agree. So let's round up these criminals and get them out of here. The administration quickly realized not that many criminals, and guess what? They don't really hang around outside. The criminals that are here, they're kind of hard to find. That's really kind of their thing. And so they were like, well, we know who is here. Grandmothers, men looking for work at Home Depot, people selling ice cream on the side of the road. So those people were rounded up and it's still not enough. So they're like, well, how do we make a profit on this? And it switched from deportation to detention. You never heard the word detention. Why aren't they saying we need buses to get these people across the border? Right. What are you detaining them for? You're not allowing them access to their lawyers. So why are we detaining them?
Yeah, this is going to sound real nerdy, but there's something in this country called writ of habeas corpus where you need to be told why you're in court and why you're being held against your will. And you can petition for a writ of habeas corpus to get your body literally out of prison or detention camps. And at this point, they're just throwing it all away. They're just like round them up, no rights. They don't have any of this. Just put them in there. And it reminds me of the Japanese internment concentration camps. It just reminds me of the worst of America.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Japanese internment camps that were here in this country were based on racism and xenophobia. This, I believe, is just profit because these are private companies that are stocking their shelves with human commodities.
Yeah, that's right. The humans
they just need warm bodies, so they don't care.
Right.
That's why they're not letting people see their lawyer because they don't want you to leave. You're not getting out.
But that's highly unconstitutional, even if you're not a citizen. That's just like wrong.
I mean, I think when this administration's gone and they start looking at the books about how much money was pocketed by all of these people, this is just the stuff we know about. Tori.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, this is and it's just like, what do you mean no one answered the door? What are you selling, Bibles?
Yeah.
You just got a $1.2 billion contract of public funds and you're not available for comment? I just cannot believe the audacity and the fact that we don't hear even the people that voted for this. I thought those people also voted for financial transparency and less government waste.
What do you think about draining the swamp when the swamp comes to you? You know what I mean? And then you become the swamp. It's like, again, it's a con. It's all a con. It's a long game con. And 77 people, in my opinion, got conned into thinking this guy cares about you. No, he doesn't. This guy cares about the country. No, he doesn't. This guy cares about patriotism. No, he doesn't. This guy cares about the church and evangelicals. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He has none of that. He has no friends. He has no real religious background. He has no humor. He is a narcissist con man who was taught by Roy Cohn and Roger Stone, and he learned how to be it. And they fell for it. They fell for it.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know. I just still don't think we see the outrage from some citizens, but I think that the only thing that really turns the Trump battleship is when there is a huge blowback from his base. And
I agree.
There's been blowback with certain things, but not with the immigration.
Yeah, that's been a Teflon. Remember, I always say they called Ronald Reagan Teflon Ron, but really Teflon Don is more appropriate because a lot of these things just whatever, next news cycle, whatever, next news cycle. That Epstein one, though, stuck. And I hope people like the Rogans, Joe Rogans, keep pushing for it. Keep pushing for it. Yeah, thank you. It's the only thing that seems to be stuck and not, it doesn't Teflon. So that is vitally important.
Yeah, it's I mean, we're living in scary times, and the fact that it appears that this administration was knee deep in a child sex ring is just a stink in a cloud that they cannot get off of them. And I think it's caused them to be more and more performative with their cruelty to try and be like, what about if we throw them near alligators? What about in Texas? And it's not sticking. Everybody's just like thinking about Epstein at this point.
Yeah.
So, Tori, let's move on to this story. All right, Tori, if the younger generation didn't have enough to worry about, it appears that AI is going after younger workers first. What do you think about just reading that statement?
I kind of thought AI would be going after older workers. I thought maybe they'd be automating things like in a plant where someone's been working there for like 37 years and now an AI robot would take over in like a car manufacturing factory, right? So this was surprising to me, but maybe it's more in the tech world. What do you think?
I think it makes sense. I think my timer's going off. I think it makes sense in that, usually wherever you start, even if you start at a big corporation, where you starting mailroom, you're starting kind of general, in the phone bank or whatever equivalent they have of that. And those are the kinds of jobs that AI can do. I think the higher up you get, if you're been in a company 26 years and you're like the regional manager for the southwest part of the country, and you kind of logistically figure things out, I think that's harder to replace than just somebody that would answer the phone and say, where can I direct your call? I think that's something that AI can do. So I'm really curious as to what's next for this generation.
I mean, right? They can't get a house. They can't now. AI is taking over their jobs.
Right. They're going to have student loans.
Yeah.
I wonder what the impact on them having children will be.
Yeah.
The impact of them getting married will be, because my debt is your debt. And if I got debt and you got debt and we got double debt, should we get married or should we just stay cash?
Totally.
So,
I totally agree.
I don't know. I'm very curious to see where this AI thing is going to take us. But I don't know. I think there's like a mountain ahead we don't see. Let's do this. All right, Michael Dane, let's make sure we talk about the EPA really quickly because it pertained to a story we talked about earlier. Michael Dane, can you tell us a little bit about what's going on with this EPA? Because I actually watched, I am such a nerd, I watched a PBS Frontline about this years ago, about what goes on with the EPA.
Yeah, so this is basically about this EPA insider. His name is Stephen Cook. Before he was, appointed to his role at the EPA, he was a lawyer representing chemical companies suing the EPA and this new rule that had to do with the cleanup costs for all of those forever chemicals that are everywhere. And this rule made the parties responsible, the chemical companies, the people who actually polluted this stuff and put it in the environment.
Which it should be.
Right? Well, guess what? Now he works for the EPA. And guess what he did? He changed the rule. So now guess who gets to pay for all of that cleanup?
We do.
Good guess.
Yeah. He basically hit us with the reverse card in Uno, which I've said before makes me so mad that it's like it takes me out of the game and I have to remind myself there's something so, I don't know, it just makes me so mad when somebody like skips me or reverses me.
It feels disrespectful.
It really does. It's like skip you and then they're not even looking at you, they're looking at the person they gotta. I'm like, bro, acknowledge me. All right, I got 2 draw 4s and I'm gonna wait for your ass. These both have your name on it, buddy.
Yeah, so, Uno can get like really painful.
Yes. Yeah, especially when you go to people's house and they have weird rules where they're like, yeah, if you put a yellow down and then a red, yellow and blue makes green. So that you're like, what?
Yeah, I'm
That's,
like, no,
yeah, stop making stuff up. Yeah. So
no.
this is actually something that that happens weirdly, Tori, in sports. You know, if my team is about to play your team and you cut a player off of your team, I pick them up and I go, hey, what are all Tori's plays? Hey, what are Tori's quarterback? What do they struggle with in practice?
Yeah.
Oh, he cannot throw a ball past 15 yards. Word, thank you. And that's exactly what they did here. They took the guy that's on the inside that knows all the stuff that's broken and then brought him on their teams. Like, what are the holes that you guys have that we can? And so now, and I think it's fair. I think me and you should be cleaning up corporate waste, don't you?
Yeah. Like, guys, remember the Michael Dean, correct me. Was it B? Which one was it? Was it Exxon Mobil or was it something with a B that had this enormous spill in the ocean that the oil just
The
kept
Exxon Valdez, yes.
Oh, Exxon
Valdez.
Valdez.
Okay. Imagine the taxpayers seeing that footage of all that oil going into the ocean, just gallons, day after day after day. Imagine we had to do that. It was their mistake, and we had to clean that up. That is such bull.
It's like, it's so crazy to like just like look at all that oil and be like, what did y'all do?
And then it's not up to them where they have millions and bazillions of dollars.
Yeah. Okay. If we have to clean it up, don't we get a cut of that check then? We just get cleanup duty. That's it.
It just feels so inherently unfair. And it is really close to the Uno reversal card. I just think that's the BP. Yeah. The BP spill. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. It just seems inherently unfair, this. So I just can't wait for the next administration. I just hope there's some reversals.
Tori, we're like 7 months into this one.
Yeah.
That's like, that's like you saying, I can't wait to get out of high school, second semester, freshman year. You got a ways to the door, buddy.
No, it's just the problem is that that's all I can hope for.
I mean, honestly, Tori, that's it. So let's do this. Let's talk about, because I wanted to get to the story because I actually saw this clip this morning. All right, Tor, we are talking about women's tennis.
Oh, this was crazy. I saw this.
Yes, there was a Biggie song called What's Beat.
Okay, so I want to be really clear. I heard, and they had subtitles underneath it. The woman who lost was Latvian, and she went up to the American and she said, you need to be sorry. You need to tell me sorry. And she's like, I don't have to do anything. And she went on. And then she starts saying, you have no education. You don't have
no class and you have no education.
No education. And then the American was like, you know what? You should get better at losing because you did a great game, great match, great play. Goodbye. And you know what? It wasn't a fight between two people. In my mind, this was racially undertoned. And I know everyone's like, why bring up race? Because when you tell a Black woman she's uneducated and lacks class, that is a trope that we have heard over and over and over again. Why are you bringing up her education? Why? That has nothing to do with this situation. So shame on that Latvian player. I hope she gets banned. And what a way to end a tennis match. I remember McEnroe, but he would go after the refs and the umps, not the other players. I mean, this just seemed absolutely racially. There was tones of it to me that screamed it. Like when you tell a Black man, how articulate. Okay. Why did you say that? You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's Gabriel says UFC tennis. It very much had the undertone of like the Latvian player wanted to take it further. And it seemed like the other tennis player was just like over it. Apparently like they've had some sort of rivalry. But like you said, when you start talking about people's class and their education level at the end of a tennis match, no less, you know what time it is. And don't get mad because you took a L. Just take your L and go practice and come back better.
Yeah, even she had to say that, like, you need to learn how to lose better. And I was like, that's exactly right.
Right. I mean, in a weird way, it makes me appreciate Serena even more.
Yeah.
Because she took the first arrows. They say the first person through the door takes the most arrows. Imagine what she had said to her coming up before any of us knew who she was. Like what people said to her at small tennis tournaments and things like that.
She and
You and your
Venus.
sister,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And then Althea Gibson and Arthur Ashe. I mean, I don't know if you saw this, Al, but Venus Williams went backstage. I guess you call it a stage. Went back after her match, and she was wearing an Althea Gibson inspired outfit, and she stopped by the portrait of Arthur Ashe, who was one of the first Black tennis players, and just had a moment with the portrait of what you've done, what you had to bear, what you broke through so we could play like this. Like, it was so touching, and I really recommend you watching just this little clip. It was very, very special. And yeah, I just can imagine the hate that they got. And her name is Taylor Townsend. Thank you for giving us her name. That is the American player. She handled herself extremely well after that. So much class.
Let me ask you this, Tori. Weird question, but what should the tennis commission, the acting tennis body, do? Because she technically didn't. I don't know if they have any bylaws that actually violated.
Sure, but it could be if there's a moral clause in the tennis match that you act like in Wimbledon. You have to wear white. You have to wear a skirt at a certain time. You have to wear your hair back. You have to wear skirts. So if you are interrupting the class of the tennis match or the ambiance of the tennis match, and you've become a bully, then I think there needs to be action to protect other players. I mean, you got a real race going here.
Right. Absolutely. Yes. You need to just handle this before this gets out of control. All right, Michael Dean, let's sneak in that last story about whatever. I just have 1 billion written down. I don't know what that's about. There we go. Powerball jackpot is at 1 billion.
Almost. It's at 950 million. No one won last night. It's the 6th largest in the game's history. It's been 3 months. Nearly 3 months since anybody's won. But I just wanted to ask, say you happen to get that lucky jackpot for 950. I'm sure it's going to be larger. I bet you by Friday it's going to be $1 billion. Do you just guess, how much do you think you'll actually take home after taxes and state and federal taxes?
Okay, I think you came home with 430 million.
I'm going 470.
Let's see what some of our folks. JGG here. Julia says 400 million.
I'm with you, JGG.
Any it's just easier to write JGG. Well, I think Gigi is just excited that it's $1 billion. Oh, Saturday. Sorry, ELC, you're absolutely right. Christina says 400 million. Yeah, you guys aren't very close.
Boy,
we're not close.
No.
What do you get?
300 million, between 230 and 270, depending on what state you live in.
Whoa.
So then what's the
right?
So then the state takes that money back then via taxes.
Yeah. Oh, the federal government gets the largest share. And then after
that's why they have lotteries, because they're trying to help the federal government.
Right. Well, yeah. I just think, I mean, like, you get all excited. You're like, I just won $1 billion. And then no.
I mean, I would take 250 million, but I'd be like, yo, where's my ticket?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. 250 is great. You just have to kind of, you're not a billionaire.
Honestly, let me ask you guys a question. Is the Mega Millions or the Powerball, do I have to write in a number? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
Okay.
Tori, I do know it's time for this. All right. Tor, do you have a fun fact for us? And colleagues, she doesn't whenever she's sitting up straight, like when the teacher called you, like, Tori, what's number 6? And you're like, 7.
Oh my God. Okay. Yes. Okay. Guess how many hearts an octopus has?
8?
I didn't know this.
1 for each tentacle?
So you think it has 8 hearts?
Yes.
No. It's 3. 3 different hearts.
Where are they?
I don't know.
That's just like
I think
that's
they're
like
in the I think they're in the blob part, you know, the big head
stop with
body
your
part.
technical talk.
But octopi are extremely smart and can know to lift fish tanks. They've learned to open doors like the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. They've learned
That's
to like
crazy.
squiggle out. They are very, very smart, the octopi. Very, very smart. And apparently they are not tentacles, but somehow like an appendage. We are saying it wrong about the octopi, but it's very interesting. 3 different hearts.
That's interesting. That just sounds like a clumsy anecdote your aunt gives you when you get broken up with. It's like, Tori, give me your hand. I know your heart's broken, but did you know octopi have 3 hearts? Take that with you. And you're like, what, auntie? And then she puts a cig in her mouth and she said, I said, take that with you. Now shut the door. That's
Don't be an octopus. Get out of here.
yes. All right. Well,
Wow.
Tori, we got to get out of here. Sorry, my Wi-Fi was sucking today, but thank you for holding it down. Tori, keep us abreast of the packing sitch.
I will.
And yeah, remember, just keep visualizing you standing on that rail, thinking of that wind.
Thinking of that wind in my face.